Filipinas under Japanese occupation, 1942 to 1945. The Japanese occupation of the Philippines during World War II, 1942 to 1945, brought about immense suffering and upheaval for the Filipino people. For Filipinas, this era was particularly harrowing as they faced violence, exploitation, and profound societal disruptions. At the same time, it was a period that revealed their extraordinary strength and resilience. Women not only endured the horrors of war, but also actively contributed to the resistance, supported their families, and upheld their communities amidst widespread hardship. This essay explores the multifaceted experiences of Filipinas during the Japanese occupation, focusing on their roles in the resistance, their everyday struggles, the atrocities they endured, and their lasting legacy as symbols of courage and endurance. 1. Role in resistance and guerrilla activities. Filipinas played a significant role in the resistance against Japanese forces, often at great personal risk. As part of guerrilla movements and underground networks, they undertook vital tasks that were crucial to the anti-Japanese campaign. Spies and couriers. Women were often less likely to be suspected of espionage, making them effective in carrying messages, smuggling supplies, and gathering intelligence for guerrilla groups. Support to fighters. Many Filipinas provided logistical support, such as cooking for soldiers, nursing the wounded, and organizing safe houses. Leaders and fighters. Some women directly joined guerrilla units, participating in armed resistance. Their bravery in combat and leadership inspired their fellow Filipinos to persevere. Prominent figures such as Josefa, Llanes, Escoda, a suffragist and civic leader, exemplify the role of women in resistance. Escoda smuggled food and medicine to prisoners of war and organized support networks for both civilians and guerrilla fighters. Tragically, her efforts led to her capture and execution, but her legacy endures as a symbol of courage and patriotism. 2. Daily life. Under occupation. The occupation disrupted nearly every aspect of daily life, forcing Filipinas to adapt to a harsh and unpredictable reality. Economic hardships. The war devastated the Philippine economy, leading to widespread poverty. Food and essential goods were scarce, and rationing became the norm. Many Filipinas had to find innovative ways to feed their families, such as growing crops, bartering, or scavenging. Displacement. Bombings, military operations, and forced evacuations displaced countless families. Women often had to manage these upheavals while protecting their children and elderly relatives. Loss of education and social life. Schools were closed or repurposed for military use, depriving many young women and children of education. Social and cultural activities were suspended, leaving communities fragmented. Despite these challenges, many Filipinas found ways to maintain a sense of normalcy, showing remarkable adaptability and resourcefulness. 3. Exploitation and violence. One of the darkest chapters of the Japanese occupation was the exploitation of women through the establishment of comfort stations. These were military-run brothels where women, including Filipinas, were forced into sexual slavery as comfort women, trauma and atrocities. Victims endured repeated sexual violence, physical abuse, and psychological trauma. The experiences left deep scars that persisted long after the war ended. Silence and stigma. Many survivors were unable to speak out due to shame, fear, or societal stigma, resulting in decades of unacknowledged suffering. Calls for justice. In later years, surviving comfort women became vocal advocates for recognition and reparations, drawing international attention to their plight. Their fight for justice remains ongoing and serves as a testament to their enduring strength. 4. Humanitarian efforts and resilience. Amidst the chaos, Filipinas demonstrated extraordinary resilience and compassion. Relief efforts. Women organized humanitarian initiatives to assist displaced civilians, feed the hungry, and care for the wounded. Support for prisoners of war. Some, like Escoda, risked their lives to smuggle food, medicines, and messages to prisoners in Japanese-run internment camps. Community leaders. With many men absent, either fighting, imprisoned, or killed, women often became the de facto leaders of their households and communities. These acts of solidarity and courage helped sustain the morale of the Filipino people during one of the most challenging periods in their history. 5. Cultural and social impact. The war significantly altered gender roles and societal norms. Shifting roles, the responsibilities women assumed during the occupation, managing households, earning livelihoods, and contributing to the resistance, challenged traditional notions of gender roles. Legacy of empowerment. The experiences of Filipinas during the war contributed to the growing recognition of women's capabilities, laying the groundwork for post-war advances in women's rights and participation in public life. Art and literature. The occupation inspired numerous works of art, literature, and film that reflect the struggles and resilience of Filipinas. These cultural expressions continue to educate and inspire future generations. Conclusion. The Japanese occupation of the Philippines was a period of immense suffering, but also one of unparalleled courage for Filipinas. Their contributions to the resistance, their resilience in the face of unimaginable hardships, and their unwavering dedication to their families and communities stand as powerful examples of human strength and perseverance. As the Philippines continues to grapple with the legacy of the war, the stories of Filipinas during the Japanese occupation serve as both a reminder of the atrocities of conflict and a celebration of the enduring spirit of its people. Recognizing their sacrifices and honoring their contributions ensure that their experiences are never forgotten and remain an integral part of the nation's historical narrative.